And while many are looking forward to seeing who will be the next pontiff, others feel nothing will change no matter who's chosen. Our live team coverage, Shell, thank you. A big problem is popping up along our coastline. 6 sea lion pups are washing ashore. KCAL9's Brittany Hopper shows us so many of them have turned up that a San Pedro Marine Mammal Center is now asking for help. Training mechanics to keep those high-tech planes in the air is the mission of the Aviation Center at the Van Nuys Airport, but higher costs threaten its future. For that update, the intense search for accused killer Christopher Dorner goes on. So far, he remains on the run, but as KCAL9's Edward Lawrence reports, police are determined to bring him to justice. President Obama today presented the Medal of Honor to a soldier who stood his ground in combat when it seemed the odds were against his troops. Well, graduation is still months away, but students at college campuses across the U.S. are getting a life lesson on how to create real change. They're part of a widespread campus activism to protect the planet. KCAL9's Randall Pinkston shows us how they're making a difference. Well, do you know what's on your credit report, or if that report is even accurate? KCAL9's Karen Kafa shows us where to find the answers and how to correct mistakes. Next month, Los Angeles voters will decide whether to pass Proposition A half-cent sales tax increase that would raise $200 million for the city's general fund. 70% of that money raised would go toward public safety. Today, LA's Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and the police and fire chiefs threw their support behind the measure. And we should note Prop A is opposed by many of the candidates running to replace Mayor Villaraigosa. More than 4,000 passengers and crew aboard a Carnival cruise ship remain stranded at sea. As KCAL9's Sandra Endo shows us, the ship lost power in the Gulf of Mexico, and a 4-day voyage has turned into a prolonged nightmare vacation. The cruise ship Triumph is expected to reach shore later this week. Carnival officials said they will cancel the ship's next 2 trips.
At 9.
President Obama is getting ready for tomorrow night's State of the Union address. We're told the president will not focus on recent hot-button issues like gun control and immigration reform. Instead, the president is expected to talk about the state of your pocketbook. KCAL9's Tara Mergener has a preview. There will be another special guest at tomorrow night's address, one not invited by the White House. Controversial rocker and gun enthusiast Ted Nugent has been invited to attend by a Texas congressman. Romesha was wounded during his heroic actions as shrapnel hit his body and his neck. Correspondent David Martin spoke to the former Army Staff Sergeant about the battle that nearly wiped out his entire base. People on motorcycles will now have to abide by the CHP's first ever safety guidelines for lane splitting, where they drive in between cars to zoom ahead. Training mechanics to keep high-tech planes in the air is the mission of the Aviation Center at the Van Nuys Airport, but higher costs threaten its future. A Mardi Gras royal tradition.
The King and Queen of Zulu have made their grand entrance into New Orleans. In Brazil, it's carnival time. The 4-day festival also happens before Lent. There are hundreds of colorful costumes, customs, and tons of parties.
And the biggest and flashiest carnival is in Rio de Janeiro. KCAL9's Shasta Darlington was there and took part in all the fun. And this celebration runs through tomorrow, just like the one in New Orleans.
And that will do it for us here on KCAL9 News at 9 o'clock.
There's more ahead. KCAL9 News at 10 starts right now.